Moving on, Battlefield 6. Have you played it? What do you think? Well, apparently some people think that there are problems with Battlefield 6.
Battlefield 6.
And one of those people is Force Gaming. So let's go over here. I want to see what he has to say about Battlefield 6. I had a blast with it. I'm not saying that Battlefield 6 doesn't have problems. What I am saying is that I want to hear what people are saying about Battlefield 6 and its problems. All right.
6. Dude, this game is a blast. I've been playing every day since the beta dropped last week, and I honestly haven't had this much fun in a multiplayer shooter in years, I think. Like, usually I grow pretty quickly tired of getting my butt kicked in these games. However, there's something about the nonstop craziness and scale of Battlefield specifically that makes it so I really don't mind. I can wrap up a match with like a 1-for-1 KD
Is my voice
ratio,
even with his or no?
still feel like I had a heck of a lot of fun. Certainly helps that just some of the crazy stuff that can happen in these games, battlefield moments, as they like to call them. Battlefield moments are back. At first, I just assumed I was dead. So he's repairing a tank. Tank explodes, jettisoned up into the air. Then helicopters onto, or parachutes onto the roof. Okay.
Excuse me.
And now he's just up there where nobody else can get up there. That is actually unbelievable. You know, now normally if I saw this clip, I wouldn't think anything of it because it's a Battlefield game. Like, obviously he jumped from the helicopter, but there's no helicopter on this map. At least there's not on the modes that I've been playing. Okay. All right, I've seen a few of these clips. I don't exactly know what's going on. Like, there's no way that it takes this many number of knifing animations to kill somebody. Oh, I know what's about to happen.
So,
I just read yesterday that...
Again, this seems interesting. Is like, they put out the playtest so that everybody can check it out. We need to stress test the servers, make sure that everything is good to go. And then, yet, people are like, well, there's problems. Of course there's problems. There's always going to be problems with any game that you play. The question is, does it matter?
You could do this. I didn't even really... Yep, that's right. Yep. He's running around with the defibrillator and just one-shotting enemies. You actually one-shot them? I guess you do have to charge it first, right?
I mean, that's actually pretty dope.
That's ridiculous. It's better than the knife damage.
Do we have anybody in... Do we have... Okay, so that is the thing, though. Like, you're stabbing a dude with your melee weapon, and the defibrillator is absolutely one-tapping him. I mean, to be fair, a defib would drop you. Oh, dude, a defib would totally drop you. Like... If you just hit a random spot on a body, the problem... yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right, defib or knife? Where are you guys at? Defib or knife? Don't tase me, bro. Defib or knife? Chat, tell me, defib or knife right now. What do you think? What's your weapon of choice?
On the last clip. So yeah, I mean, the game, it's a lot of fun. It's also funny at times, and I've been having a blast. Seems a lot of other people are enjoying it as well as of this recording. Nice. It's reached a whopping 520,000 peak concurrent play.
My question is, does it hit this on release? Do we get back up to these numbers on full release where it's a $70 game?
Here's over on Steam, and here's the kicker. I didn't even know that the beta test was available on Steam. Literally. So I started playing last Thursday when they were running that Twitch Drops campaign. Like,
so that's important
to get in is you have to watch a stream.
Because a lot of people are playing on like Xbox, PlayStation. We actually played, and it's multi-plat too.
For 30 minutes, and then you would be sent a code. And those codes were codes not for Steam, but for the EA launcher. So I just assumed that everyone was playing on the EA launcher. Like, up until earlier this morning, I thought everyone was on the EA launcher. And I do believe a lot of people thought as much as well. I'll at least say all of my friends who also played via Twitch Drops on Thursday or Friday when they got access, all of them were also using the EA launcher. And I am someone who typically prefers to play my games on Steam if given the choice, because I'd rather not download separate launchers.
So wait a minute. I'm sorry, Force Gaming. So you're sent this code. And it, like, as somebody who is in the industry, how do you not go check and just see, like, if it's on your platform of choice before you play? That's, I mean, okay, maybe that's a small gripe. That just seems odd to me, because Force is usually well informed about the stuff that he talks about.
Publishers' games, right? So the fact that they hit 520,000 concurrent players on Steam, on top of however many thousands they must have certainly had on the EA launcher, on top of the console player base, seems this beta has been massively popular. It
I would
is
say
at
yes.
the very
Yes,
least
it has.
the most
Absolutely
popular
has.
beta in Battlefield's history. Those concurrent numbers also place it as the 18th all-time most popular game on Steam when it comes to player concurrence. Yeah, not too shabby. So Windows Central, they just posted an article pointing out the fact that Battlefield 6 has surpassed Call of Duty's all-time Steam player count because, of course, like, let's just get those fan bases going at it already. Get a head start to the online arguments that which will no doubt be happening this October.
You might as
about
well.
which-
Like, the entire thing that gamers love to do is like, well, my dad can beat up your dad. Like, that's the whole thing. Well, my game is better than your game. That's exactly what we like to do. We're freaking nerds. Well, like, we're still talking about, well, but who can really win? Like, is Superman, like, Superman could totally beat up Goku, or Goku could totally beat up Superman. Like, we're still talking about this stuff. That's what we like to do. Like, again, we're always like, what is better? We're nerds. That's how we be.
better, Call of Duty or Battlefield. Great. We got a couple months of this garbage now. But you know, maybe not
Battlefield
much of a
6 Big Mac
shocker.
crossovers,
Not
that'd be
everyone
funny.
has been having a good time. I've actually been seeing a fair few complaints about the game over the course of this beta weekend. And I want to dive into and touch on some of those as well. So for starters, map size. This is one of the more common complaints that I've seen. Basically that the maps aren't that big. And you know what? I actually pretty much agree on this one. Like,
I actually agree too. One of the reasons that I never played a Battlefield game is because I was told the maps were absolutely huge, and it made it sound to me like you were just going to be walking around for like 10 or 15 minutes. When I got into a lot of these maps, I was like, oh no, these are actually just, yes, they are large, but they're like a comfortable size. Like, I'm not running for 10 minutes to get into an engagement if I get killed and I have to respawn at like the HQ or something. Now that being said, I'm not a Battlefield player. So for me, I was like, oh, these maps aren't bad. I don't mind this. I like this. They're not small, but they're definitely larger than what I'm used to playing on.
all of the maps, even the bigger ones that are meant for the all-out warfare game modes with vehicles and everything, they feel kind of small. It seems I can't go 10 seconds without being shot at in the game. And from what I recall in any prior Battlefield games that I've played, there felt like there was more space and breathing room in between engagements with enemies, which just really hasn't been the case here. Now I've been playing a lot.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. It sounded like the old Battlefields had a little bit more of a balance where you weren't getting shot at all the time, but you weren't going 10 minutes without seeing an enemy. Is that what I'm to understand here? Educate me, chat.
Of the breakthrough game mode where you've got an
probably
attacking
doing it in
team,
combat,
defending
but I
team,
haven't
and
played
this
in a long time.
mode
Gotcha.
literally only takes place on the larger maps. So I've spent most of my time with the game over this beta just playing on what are the larger available maps, but even these still kind of feel tiny, or at least kind of restricted. Also, I read a comment that
Interesting.
really rung true for me, where somebody said that the maps are flat out boring, but specifically said that everyone plays on the same plane and there is no verticality, which Battlefield maps are known for. The second I read that, I was like, it's like a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, oh yeah, no, dude, he's totally.
I did actually notice that. So we were playing on Cairo this weekend, and Cairo? Is it Cairo? Anyway, one of the city maps. And I run up the stairs and I'm like, oh snap, there's more stairs to go up. I'm like, sweet, I'm gonna run up the stairs and I'm gonna go to like this upper floor of this building. I run up the stairs, there's a door, I'm like, cool, I try to run through it, bam, can't. I don't know if they're intending to add more verticality to it and it just wasn't ready for this beta test over the weekend or what, but I was really disappointed. I was really, really disappointed. Johnny Douglas, what's going on, dude? Good to see you.
Right, holy crap. It did make me realize that on every map, it seems like there are like 2 floors max to the buildings and structures you can go in. In fact, that earlier clip kind of points to a funny discrepancy from what I would expect from a Battlefield game where you got a player who accidentally ended up on the roof of these buildings. And in my mind, Battlefield's always been a game where you should just be able to get up on the roof of buildings, right? If no, for no other reason than because you drop out of a helicopter or a plane and then parachute on top of it. But in this game, even on many of the larger maps we have, that's not exactly possible. But even if it is.
So are these just restrictions for the beta test? Because what he's saying here, I feel like would have definitely made my experience even better than it was. Now, my experience was really good because I was playing with the boys. I'd never played a Battlefield game before, so this is my first experience. So I was having a lot of fun. But again, there were some things that like, I kind of started thinking about it afterwards. I was like, well, I thought the guys said a while back, like they were able to do a lot more. So is this just a restriction because of the beta test, or is this just a restriction of the game?
The buildings themselves are just relatively small. Like over these past few days and all of the engagements that I've had, the highest I have ever been elevated over another player has been like one floor above them inside of a building.
But you can
and
see
that's
there's
basically
three
it.
levels,
There's just really little
4 levels in that
verticality
building.
at
There's the main
moment
level
on
and then
top
3
of,
above.
What seems
You
to be
should
a
be able to
relatively
do that,
small
right?
amount of total play space to explore. Now, I am hopeful that this is just a factor of the current beta's map pool, and that come release there are larger maps available, especially for these big game modes like Breakthrough or Conquest. And that's just the case that right now we only have a fraction of the maps and modes that are planned for launch. That is true. Like there's gonna be more there. So I'm hoping that more includes more bigger things. In fact, I did see a thread that was comparing this to prior Battlefield games, stating that the Battlefield 6 open beta is an outlier for the fact that it is putting so much focus on these smaller infantry focused maps. And then
That's interesting. I don't recall BF4 having quite that many levels. And what is it? BF3 and BF4 seem to be the standard that people are trying to get back to, correct? Like that's what I've heard. Like I said, I had a good time with it this weekend, but again, the things that again, they had stairs leading up to a door that didn't open for a 3rd level. And I really wanted to go up there and check that out and get a vantage point and start shooting, and couldn't do that. But you could go into the bottom of the room. Well, I'm not saying you have to go into every level, but more verticality, right?
laid out Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Hardline, BF1, BF5, and 2042, and the different combinations of maps that they had, with many larger scale maps that are bigger compared to the ones that we're playing here in the Battlefield 6 beta. Some people are also saying that this is a big reason why the game is being compared a lot to Call of Duty, mainly because we only have what are relatively smaller maps with a
or because it's a military shooter and Call of Duty should have been a military shooter. I don't wait, hold on, wait. Maybe people are gonna hold on, maybe people are smarter than me and they're gonna define it in a different way.
A lot of quick engagements. You know, this may very well, in fact, be intentionally done to help draw some of that crowd. EA might be doing this on purpose to appeal to the Call of Duty fan base. That is entirely possible. There's like a high likelihood.
Wait, you mean a company wants to take market share from another company that they're in competition with? Egad, good sir. Surely it must not be. Surely they wouldn't change the formula a little bit to get some of those people over here. Or maybe they would. I don't know. I don't run EA. Maybe, I don't know.
That's the case. But nevertheless, I just want more bigger maps. So that is actually one complaint that I'm fully on board with. Like, I'd like to see bigger maps in the game come release. Another big complaint that I'm seeing a lot of has been about the time.
I would like to be better at this game than I am. I didn't do terrible. I got in like the top 20 in some of our game modes. So that, for never playing a Battlefield, my buddies were like, actually, dude, the fact that you're holding in like the top 20, you're doing all right. I was like, cool. Like, I'll take it from my buddies. Like, my boys told me I was doing good. Like, we were talking mad shit to each other, so I'm going to take the compliments.
Time to kill seems to be a lot of people saying that the time to kill in this game is too fast.
I'll call you Shirley anytime I want to. All right, Shirley? Shirley, you must be wrong.
But it turns out that may not be even true at all. In fact, it looks like the exact opposite might be the case, and that the time to kill appears to be slower than Battlefield 4, at least according to some rough comparison videos that I've seen floating around. Although I do want to make it...
I will say this, I felt that the TTK was longer than I'm used to, but I also played Call of Duty. I don't mind it, though. It forces you to get good. Like, the TTK in this forces you to get good. I actually don't mind the TTK.
Clear This is a very poor method of testing. These just comparing random gameplay clips side to side. We just don't know so much. There are so many variables. We don't know the starting health of the enemies prior to them being shot in the clip. Like, were they already injured? Or we don't know if they had taken any damage during the clip from any other sources. Like, did they get fired from somebody else or take blast damage from a grenade? What were the ranges and the weapon attachments that were being used in each of these clips that are put side by side? Like, again, there's just way too many variables. I would love to see some more controlled testing of the weapons and the different distances against static non-moving targets so that you know every shot is hitting. That's what I would like to see, where you could figure out how exactly.
I really don't like that people want to do this. Just play the fucking game. Just instead of being like, well, I would really like to see a breakdown where somebody actually has a static target and they can shoot at it and we can get the... Just play the fucking game and figure it out. Just pick up the controller, or I guess some people are insane and they play on keyboard and mouse. I don't understand those people. But get whatever your input method of choice is, grab that thing and just play the game.
Where exactly does the time to kill fall in line with other Battlefield games? I've also seen people saying that time to kill isn't really so much the issue as is the perceived time to death. It feels like you're getting instantly killed sometimes, and apparently part of the reason here might be due to the fact of how damage gets bundled and then registered in burst. So while on your end it might seem like you died after just 1 to 2 bullets, you check out the kill feed and it shows you actually got hit 5 or 6 times, and it's just that the damage was applied in burst. So that is a whole nother factor to account for here.
They need to fix that if that's actually the thing.
I think part of the issue of what people are experiencing.
So for those of you, like, if you guys got that, if you didn't get that, what he's basically saying is somebody comes up and goes rat-a-tat-tat with whatever they're, doing that to you with. And then you just now see this guy, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, the damage came in inverse, which basically, so rat-a-tat-tat, and it actually stacks the damage and applies all of it to you instead of applying it to you in individual increments. This could also be an issue with server to client ping rates. That could be a reason that is happening, is that the ping isn't registering everything. Yeah, lag, but it might not be intentional lag. It may not. This might be something that they're not aware of, and they were like, oh, snap, because of the lag of our, like server-side, client-side stuff going back and forth, and the way that we're registering the damage, it's actually not registering the damage properly to account for that. That could be a thing that's going on.
Here also comes down to the map sizes and layouts. There's just, with the size of these maps, there's not a lot of breathing room in the current beta rotation. Like, even on the larger ones, it does seem like you can't go 5 or 10 seconds without being shot.
Okay, no, that is entirely no. Okay, I'm gonna push back on this here because we played for many hours the other day on Saturday, and there were multiple times where I could absolutely run across the map. And I mean, I don't know if you know this, there's also a mini map as well, and you could definitely move. Now, when you're playing objective-based modes and you're running towards the objective, guess what? The other team already running for the objective too, which means you're gonna probably meet the other team. Now, if what they're saying is because these are mostly objective-based modes and maybe we need the maps to be a little bit bigger so that way you don't have people just globbing up in the ways that they're doing. But no, there were multiple times when I ran quite far, tried to flank enemies. I obviously suck at this game, so my flanks absolutely failed. But again, that's something that I don't think... They'll be like, well, you were getting shot every 5 to 10 seconds. Well, yeah, like if you're in the middle of the fray and it's a 64-player map, there's going to be 32 dudes potentially shooting at you. So yes, you're gonna die. Peace out, Wrangler dude. It's good to see you, man. God bless. All right, sorry I had to push back on that.
Oh, I swear that I am performing better than I should be. I wanted to point this out here as well. Like,
glad
I don't know
you
how
are.
heavy this game's aim assist is, but it feels pretty strong. And
No,
if that
it
is
does
the
not.
case, and everyone
That's
has
a
it
lie.
while being on these maps that result in a very little amount of time between player engagements, that could also be part of the explanation. Explaining the feeling as to why people are like, dude, I'm just constantly dying all the time super quickly. A lot of factors at play.
Yeah,
here, a lot
because
of things
there's
to consider.
32
also,
people
I've been
trying
seeing a
to
lot of
dome
complaints
you.
about the UI, and I will admit, like, some of this stuff,
What?
it's pretty rough. This home screen, like, for example, when I'm on
Yeah.
the play screen, where is the button to instantly get into the next match? Like, why isn't it just right there, front and center? Why do I have to toggle down a layer from the bulletin, which is basically, here's our advertising for the game that you're already playing? For
Because they
things
want
that
you to spend money.
can probably in the future buy more things within the
Yeah,
game on this
because they want you to
banner.
spend more money.
Why do I have to go down to the feature tabs and or training ground? But, you know, we'd be going down.
Because they want you to spend more money. Duh. What do you mean? What are you even talking about? Well, why do they have this bulletin thing here before it's the map? Because they're going to have skins, and they're going to have a bunch of microtransaction stuff right there, even though it's a $70 game. And EA is going to want you to spend more money first and play second. It's still an EA game. Might be fun. Still an EA game. Come on, Forrest. You half answered your question. Maybe you'll fully answer it here in a second.
One of the feature tabs. I should just be able to click a button right here and play the game. I shouldn't
No, because if you can do that, then you're not spending money.
have to scroll to anything. And I think that kind of also points to a larger issue that
Which, if you guys have never been here before, like I absolutely hate those practices, but that's what it is.
I've had with this game and the menus in particular is a lot of like, there's too many layers to the menus. That's a
I agree. Too many layers. 100%. He's 1,000% correct. To get into like putting like the different mods that you get for your different weapon platforms, there's like 4 layers you have to go into just to get to it. It's wild.
big thing that a lot of games seem to struggle with. There needs to be a simplicity and a limiting to the number of click-throughs that you have to do before you get to the thing that you're trying to get to. That should be streamlined as much as possible. It's something that I've been had a bit of annoyance, not a massive annoyance, but a bit of annoyance here. People have also been complaining about like the class icons. These don't bother me so much. I think this is just an exposure issue. Like the more you play, the more comfortable you're going to get with what each of the class icons.
Who cares about that? What? Do class icons matter to what? Some people, oh man, dude. Oh man.
I do get that they're a little too
Class icons are terrible, way too abstract to recognize at a glance. You know what you should do? Play the game more so you recognize it. Fuck, oh my god. Dude, these people are so retarded. They think they're smart. It's ridiculous. You know, like the circle retard, like they're so dumb. But they think that they're smart. Ugh.
like artsy fartsy instead of just like the assault is like should be a rifle or a bullet, and the healing thing.
The assault is an arrow. The healing is obviously an offshoot of like, you know, the medical cross, right? Like, I don't understand. The sniper is like crosshairs. That's what that looks like. It's a crosshair thing, you know. Engineer, okay, it's a circle, whatever, kind of like a shield, maybe. I don't know. That one doesn't make sense. The rest of it makes sense to me.
Should just be the medical cross. Like, why isn't it just the medical cross? Why is the engineering class like a lug nut instead of a wrench? You know, and the sniper class icon, I mean, I like looking at it, it's abstract and I get it. Like my brain can put the pieces together. Like, yes, oh, that's supposed to be a scope. But also it like what is, come on, dude.
Okay, so I kind of see what they're saying. It's just like, dude, just make it obvious. Just make it obvious. Like, I mean, just play the game and you'll see it. I don't understand. I don't understand how this is even a bitch about like.
Why is it
letters are too abstract to recognize at a glance. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you want to confuse somebody with dyslexia, just throw up a bunch of letters in front of them. I mean, it's probably just, their order on a menu. They have no idea what they're ordering. They're dyslexic.
Just the regular sniper scope. It seems like they just went really fancy and abstract with the designs here of the class icons. I mean, I don't hate these, and I get what they're going for with each of them. Like, I get the design idea behind it and what it's supposed to represent and how that is relevant to said classes.
It looks like he's slimmed up.
But yeah, it's
Probably
really
working out.
They definitely
for you,
put their
Force.
own spin on it, right? But ultimately, I do think it's just an exposure thing. After playing for a few days, like, I get what each of these means
Yes,
now, but
exactly.
it's not
Play for a few days.
immediately intuitive. I guess I would say that much. It at least takes some. You got to take a minute. It's like you got to look at it for a minute and be like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's okay. I get it. Like even the medic one, I look at it and I'm like, is that a bridge? What is that? I was like, oh, it is a cross, but it also has a circle in it, and then there's a space chunk diagonally taken out of the middle. I'm like, okay, yeah,
I think this is a valid complaint, but doesn't matter too much. I'm a dev, so this is something that the devs should discuss because it's their job to make the UI easily navigable. Fair enough. I'm not going to fight you on it.
No, I get it. Yeah. Oh, I saw this post and thought it was absolutely hilarious because
That is funny.
That's not what it really looks like when
It's
you're
close.
playing on this map, but it's what it feels like. You're just seeing the glint of sniper lenses staring you down every time you pop your head up.
Hashtag makes sniper glint smaller. I hate sniper glint so much. Make it smaller.
Above a rock
The whole point of being a sniper. I mean, now granted, they'd be like, well, that's too imba. Then people, well, I don't know. I hate sniper glint. It takes me out of it.
or something on this map, and it's kind of a nightmare as a result. Yeah, there's a lot of snipers, and you know, I was told, or I read somewhere, that one of the main reasons we're seeing for the prevalence of snipers right now is that there's little to no suppression. So suppressing fire that you would send out that would mess with enemies, it would mess up their aim or mess up their vision to make it harder for them to aim and hit targets. Evidently, that's not really much of a thing anymore. I haven't played as the sniper class, as a recon, or I haven't used a sniper on any of the other classes because you can kind of mix and match weapons however you like here, except for that one particular mode. But I've mostly been playing like AR or LMG, actually. I picked the support, and the support started as LMG. I like the class playstyle. I like rezzing people, like running around with the defibrillators. Yeah, apparently when people are sniping, they're no longer getting suppressed, which historically has been the case, I've been told, for the LMG classes. They've been good for...
That's interesting. Well, and it is one of those things that, like, you just don't, like, snipers just have a ridiculous range. And now, if you could give me an LMG and my boys could just tell me, hey, you're going to go over there and you're just going to suppress the snipers, that would be dope. But I would also need more ammo, because I ran an LMG for a minute and I ran out of ammo on the LMG really fast because I was just like, ha 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 ha. Oh. But if you make it to where the LMGs have the distance or have a similar distance, or, you know, maybe you got to get a little closer, but you can actually mess with the snipers that way, that would be a good balance.
Doing the suppressing fire and making it harder for the enemies that you're shooting at to return fire, but evidently that's not really a thing. Kind of surprised. I'm sure there's some very good reason as to why they did it. We'll see if that gets tuned or not right now, because right now, yes, especially on some of these maps, especially on that map in particular, every time I poke my head above a rock, it's just like there's like 5-7 sniper lens flares looking back at me, and I'm like, oh god, please no. Don't take my head off and make me unresable.
And the reason being is because sniper, when it comes to keyboard and mouse, is probably one of the easiest things to do. When you're on keyboard and mouse, it like that, you can always tell a keyboard and mouse player because they will be running a sniper. Like, it's just one of the easiest things. Just historically, that's what I've seen in shooters that I've played.
I did see some complaints about the fact that the RPGs aren't really good against enemy players. Like, there's not a lot of splash damage. It looks like that's just kind of the case across the board right now. There's not a lot of splash damage with this. Or
No,
C4
I've got
was
blown
something
up
else
by
that I saw
quite
people
a few.
complaining about. I'm gonna be honest, I don't hate it. Like, I don't dislike the idea that it should mostly be guns and not explosive AoE blast radius things that are killing group multiple players. Just personally, like, I don't really mind this so much, but I get people are used to.
But then what? Do you know what an RPG will do to a human body? Go check out the channel, High Speed Ballistics. You'll see what an RPG exploding on somebody can do to them. And that was an accident.
Like if you shoot a rocket into a cluster of players, getting 5 kills or something. Like that's what you kind of are used to and kind of expect, but that doesn't really seem to be the case with how they're current.
Yeah, but you should also, if you shoot a rocket into like a group of 5 players, you should absolutely get the points for that. Like, why can't you? Because especially if they only give you like 1 or 2 per life. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here. I don't know.
Only doing the blast radius and the amount of damage it's done to players. One complaint I saw coming up was that there's no compass in the game, although apparently there is. It is just off by default. This thread here mentions the fact that yes, if you go into settings, the graphics menu, interface and HUD, and advanced HUD options, you can check to have the compass enabled because for whatever reason, it's just not there.
That is something that I was actually looking for,
when you get
and I
those
couldn't
call-outs,
find
like,
it.
There's an enemy sniper.
Why would you hide the compass? That's retarded. So wait, these devs accidentally made a good game? Is that what I'm hearing?
Or to the east, and you're like, where? I can't, there's no compass. I don't, where are they?
Yeah, the only way to tell is if you actually pull up the map from like the pause screen and kind of orient yourself, and then you go, okay, this point is that way, this point is that way. Like, you have to orient yourself when they drop you in first. And then you go, okay, this one's this way, this one, and unless you mentally check that really quickly, which I did in a couple matches, you're not gonna know where you're going. And the compass would be super helpful for a lot of people. And there were even times where, like, yeah, I did the mental check. I was like, okay, this is here, this is here, this is here, cool, got it, awesome. And then I was like, wait, what direction was that point again? No, I thought it was because on the previous map, and so you have to go back and you have to do it again. And that's ridiculous that compass is turned off right away.
You're right. So
I will say this. One of the things that I actually loved is in Call of Duty, they'd give you like the stupid watches that you could wear on like the back of your forearm. And one of them was a compass. And I put that on, so I always had a compass on so I could see where my compass was. Something like that, like a cosmetic like that, to be like, would you like the compass wrist thingy? Yes, I would. That would actually be kind of cool. If they get to that point, obviously this is a beta, they're not there yet.
Yes, there is a compass. You just have to enable it because it's not. I really don't understand why the compass wouldn't be there by default, but it isn't. So there you go. Oh, and one of the final things that I'm seeing a lot of people complaining about, or at least I've seen it crop up here and there, is cheaters. Not even a couple of days into the beta, we were already getting proof that there are cheaters in the game. I've seen multiple separate videos of wall hacks being used. Some of these posted up on TikTok. You see players running around, and yeah, they've just got those boxes that clearly outlining friends and foes through the walls. And yeah, again, I've seen several of these. And you know what? Absolutely sucks. Like, cheating in these multiplayer games is sort of an unfortunate.
That's not a Battlefield 6 problem. That's a people problem. People are a-holes. We've gotta, you're never gonna get rid of the a-holes. I'm sorry. It's just, it's not how life works.
Reality and perfect elimination just doesn't seem possible. I mean, been talking about cheaters in our games for how long have I been? Like 30 years. Like the multiplayer games that I've played, we've been talking about there being cheaters.
Always.
Like, why don't the devs get rid of them? Well, you can't just get rid of all of them. It is a cat and mouse game. It's the simplest explanation that I've seen for it. Now, in a recent forum post,
why cheat in video game? There's no prize. Yeah, there is. Lying about how good you are. The prize is lying to people, and then because they don't know you're cheating, you show them your stats and be like, look how good believe it or not, people are that petty. Keep in mind, there are people out there who will lie about like stolen valor in the military. No verifiable proof that they're actually that good. And they actually did those things, and you can kind of verify that pretty easily with stolen valor. Video games, people can have a score sheet like, no, look how good I am. And as long as they hide it, they get that sense of like, oh, I'm so good. You think I'm good, because they want other people's validation. Why cheat in video games? Because you want to cheat to get validation from other people, because you're not good enough as a person to validate yourself. And if you validate yourself, for the love of God, close the door.
EA has discussed.
and also lock it.
some of their anti-cheat methods, specifically via Secure Boot, and some of the results that they've seen thus far, mentioning that Secure Boot is how we are helping them build their arsenal. It is another barrier that helps them make it harder for cheat developers to create cheat programs and make it easier for them to detect it when they do. One example here is that Secure Boot prevents your machine from running with vulnerable drivers enabled. If Secure Boot is running and they see those drivers loaded, they know that something is a bit off. Then they thank to the community for
I
their
actually had to
assistance
go
in identifying
adjust my Secure Boot settings in order just to get into this.
cheaters, as it really does help. Your reports help us zero in and lead us to finding up-and-coming cheat communities.
I mean, okay, Hedge, but you also know people who talk about how great they are as writers, and they've written, what, half a novel maybe? I know we've all met those people. They talk about how awesome they are, and they've never actually published anything. Come on, we know people have this mentality about a whole bunch of stuff.
Reporting one cheater often can lead to new detection techniques and help us keep them from impacting your experience. Now, since the open beta early access began, like last Thursday, they've said that Javelin has already prevented 330,000 attempts to cheat or tamper with anti-cheat controls.
So they have knocked out over 330,000 attempts at anti-cheat, and their highest player number was over 500,000. Now, obviously, the concurrent cheater number and the concurrent player number are not going to match up exactly, but keep that in mind. Out of the million or so, or however many people that played on all different platforms, you're still ending up, that's a pretty high cheater count that they've tried to block. That's insane.
We've reported 44,000 instances of potential cheaters during the first day and 60,000 during the second day. And they say we are already using these with our own gameplay integrity team to add and improve our detection for Battlefield 6. They're also working with the Battlefield Positive Play team to actively remove those reported we can confirm to be cheaters.
Fuck those cheaters.
And they wrapped it all up by saying that anti-cheat isn't one and done. It is an ever-evolving
Of course it
battlefield.
is.
Haha. And what has worked for them previously in different games doesn't always work all of the time. Again,
Yes.
basically reiterating that this is an ongoing issue, a struggle that they just have to constantly deal with, trying to battle cheaters and get them out of the game. Now, I will say, like, just anecdotally, I've not really felt like any of my games over the weekend have been full of cheaters. I don't think I even had one death where it's like, that guy's definitely a cheater. At least if
I agree. I didn't feel like that when I was playing with the boys this weekend. I definitely did chicks dig the hedge. That phrasing got me. Sorry. That was funny. I definitely don't feel that I was getting hacked on or cheated on in this game. I just felt like I was not good at the game.
The case that there were some there, they weren't obvious, or there didn't seem to be many or enough of them to ruin my experience. I'm not saying there aren't cheaters. Clearly there are. I'm just saying I don't exactly know how widespread it is, because it hasn't seemed to impact my experience at all. So, in fact, I would be really curious, like, what percentage of games they've identified as having cheaters in them in the lead up to
that would be interesting to know,
giveaways that they're
actually.
doing, because the
The percentage of games played that they detected cheating in. That would be an interesting metric to know, just as a player, to kind of be like, okay, if I play 10 games, are 3 of them definitely going to have cheaters in them based off of the statistic? But then again, that almost feels like that would give us like the false, even though they're working on the problem, like, be like, oh, they let this many games have cheaters in them. And like, no, guys, we just wanted to give you more information as well. Because the problem is the more information that you can give your customer base, a smaller percentage of those people are going to be, oh, wow, you guys detected this many and you're trying to fight that many. A lot of people are so retarded, they're going to be like, they're letting 3 out of 10 games have cheaters. They're trying to steal your stuff from you. Like, because just there are some people who just don't quantify information and cannot categorize information and do the if this, then this statements. They can't do the if then statements at all in their brains. And so maybe, just maybe, even though it would be interesting information to have, probably not the best for the devs to release that information to the public.
Of them, at least not blatantly obvious ones in the games that I've played. All right, so yeah, there's some things that they need to work on, but overall, man, I got to say, I've been having a really, really good time.
It's so
like,
fun.
I was not expecting this. I thought I was just going to jump in Thursday and maybe Friday just to give the game a look and to have some general impressions on it. But I had so much fun that I ended up playing every day. Like, I think my personal
is
biggest
really
critique
fun.
is, yes, I want some bigger maps. I want a bit of breathing room where I can run around for at least 10 or 15 seconds before being shot again. This doesn't seem to really exist on the maps that we have playable at the moment. But honestly, other than that, like,
okay,
that's my
hold
real...
on, wait. But I think it's, what is it? It's this button right here. Hold on. Let's back up a little bit. Nope. There we go. So look at his mini map down here. You see the mini map. You see where he's at, right? He is right around point A, which means that's where a lot of players are going to be. If you're right around point A and you're like, well, I just think that, dude, you're shooting into point A right now. Well, I just don't think that I should be getting shot every 10 seconds. Then here's the thought. Don't play the objective. I mean, people are not going to like it if you don't play the objective, but come on.
At the moment. But honestly, other than that, like, that's my real biggest complaint. I don't disagree with a lot of the other issues that we brought up here. Certainly, I want them to get all the cheaters out of the game. Yeah, there's a lot of
They're never going to get all the cheaters out of the game. Cheaters going to cheat. That's just how they be.
Spurs to be good if suppression was a bit better. Yeah, sure, the UI can use some tweaking. And
True.
The time to kill speed.
The UI can use more than some tweaking. The UI could probably use a moderate amount of tweaking. It kind of annoying for customization.
Really having a thought on that one way or the other. Like, I don't know, it seemed fine to me. I also felt the more that I played, the better that I got, and the less like just running out into the open constantly, the less I felt like I was dying constantly all the time as well.
That is true.
Yes, there's some things that could be better, but overall, I've had a really good time, like a heck of a good time. The beta's convinced me that I'm definitely going to be playing this game come release, and I'll wrap it up by saying I play games to have fun, and the beta delivered that in spades. I've had a really good time, so I'm looking forward to more. It's also been nice because, like I said, I've not really found myself actually enjoying and wanting to continue to play competitive multi.
If they spread the map out more, people would just complain that the game was too slow. Absolutely. And you're playing these games to have more of that energetic or that adrenaline-filled like combat sensation. That's why you play games like this. Is there a middle ground between too big, too small? I don't know. I've never played a Battlefield game. I felt that it was fairly decent for what it was when I played this game. I did not feel that I was getting capped every 10 seconds. There were sometimes I just spawned in bad areas because, again, I would spawn on a point because you can choose where you spawn. And guess what? When you spawn on a point that's got a group of dudes pointing pew-pews at it, guess what happens? You might get got.
Player shooter in some years, but I am really enjoying this. Even if I go 1 for 1, even if I go 0.9, I know, don't kick me off the team, I'm sorry, but I usually go over 1 for 1, okay? Usually go like 1.5 for 1 or 2 for 1 if I'm having a just solid game. Maybe in a rare blue moon, I'll go 3 for 1.
I was like 0.5 all weekend. I'm not even gonna lie, dude. I was not good, but I had fun. And I also captured a lot of points too, assisted my teammates, picked them up. I wasn't even running medic. I just see my buddies go down. I just grab them and drag them and pop them with a stim pack and get them back up.
But I mean, who really cares, dude? That's, again, I'm not here for the ego boost. I'm just here to have some fun. And the fact that I can have fun even trading kills with the enemy team
that's
and resin people. All good, dude. It's great. Yeah, really looking forward to seeing more of this game. Like, sincerely,
he's right.
Pleasantly surprised. I was not expecting much, but I've had a great time. Yeah, that's it for me today. I'll probably talk about this game a little bit more in the future. I will say this. I've been watching Force Gaming for a long time, and he just does regular, here's a game that I played, here's my thoughts on it. I love his content because he really does a great job with just mostly gameplay focus. So go check out Force if you guys haven't before. No, Battlefield 6 is absolutely fun. The beta was an absolute blast. I had a bunch of fun with the boys. I was doing a lot of house chores over the weekend, so I wasn't able to play as much as I really wanted to.
But this is definitely something that I think that, like, this is a game for the boys. And I was telling people that, like, it's the game for the boys. Like, you want to call your buddies up and say, hey, Battlefield 6 just dropped. We all need to buy it. We need to play it. I think you guys are going to have a fun time. I know that I did. Dude, it was really, really freaking fun. And it was tense at moments too. Because I've never played Battlefield. I didn't understand Battlefield. Maybe I still don't because I haven't played the older ones. But I will say this, man. I think that they're hitting on a portion of the market that hasn't been there for a long time. And I absolutely think that you guys should check this game out. Seriously. Just 100% check this game out. I think you guys are going to like it. It's going to be awesome.